This video is all about some of the techniques that I use when I'm writing and performing spoken word. Spoken word is a brilliant form of poetry because the most important thing about it is the way it lands on the audience's ear. One of the things that we look at with spoken word is sort of wordplay and being really creative with language and the way it sounds and the way it feels to get your story across. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is rhythm. And I'm going to use an example of a piece of text from common law, a section of a piece called Moving Pieces. In Moving Pieces, I use rhythm to show how the character's feeling. This is a poem performed by the character Scarlett. Her life is pretty turbulent. She's always moving from place to place and she never gets a break. And so the rhythm of this text helps us to understand what Scarlett is going through. Moving pieces, moving parts, property leases, brand new starts, moving houses, broken hearts, had enough. Pack your stuff because it's time to depart. So just have a think about how those words sound on the ear and maybe have a go at reading those words out loud for yourself. Do you have to do anything differently to make them fit with the rhythm? Is there anything that you can do to emphasise the rhythm when you're performing those words? The next thing I'm going to talk about is rhyme. Not all poems have to rhyme, but sometimes it can be a really useful way of kind of making the audience's ears prick up and drawing attention to something that you want to say. Sometimes rhymes are quite simple, sometimes they can be a little bit more complex and we can use them more creatively. Often rhymes happen at the end of a line of poetry, but sometimes it can be interesting to play around with this a little bit more and find rhymes in the middle of lines that help bounce us on to the next section and help keep the text driving forward. This is a character in the third story called Ashley. She has borrowed £50 from her stepmother to give to a homeless woman who really needed it, but now she needs to think quickly to give her stepmother an explanation of where the money's gone. If I say I spent it, she'll shout. If I tell her I gave it away, there's no doubt she'll resent it. I know all the things that she'll say about scroungers and why they are homeless. I've heard her before and I know that she meant it. I better just lie. So there's quite a lot of rhymes in this bit of text. We've got spent it and resent it, and they frame she'll shout. If I tell her I gave it away, there's no doubt. So they work in the middle of sentences. So what I'd love you to do is have a look at this on the worksheet that accompanies this video written down. See if you can find all the words that rhyme and how they interact with each other, and have a little think about what sort of an effect that has on the delivery of the text. Alliteration means using the same consonant sounds over and over again to give your writing more emphasis or to make a point. So I'm going to share with you a section of text that's spoken by the judge where we have quite a lot of alliteration. I will contribute my consideration and considerable insight to ascertain with certainty a resolution that is right. So in that bit of text, we've got lots of C sounds. I will contribute my consideration and considerable insight. Then we've got a couple of S sounds, to ascertain with certainty. And then we have a couple of R sounds, a resolution that is right. And I like to roll my R's for this character because she's quite posh. And I shall presently contemplate the case. So a lot of these harsh consonant sounds that I've pushed together in this little bit of text hopefully serve to show how harsh the judge is in her treatment of the man that she's speaking to. Assonance basically means using the same vowel sound or the similar sounding words lots and lots of times to sort of highlight a particular point in your writing. I've chosen a section that I'm going to read for you now from common law in the first story, Mr. F, talking about a girl who's starting to fall in love. Time passes. She's fallen in deeper. Her love is amassing. She thinks he's a keeper. She's beaming, but not quite believing his reasons for leaving, concealing his dealings from her. So in that section, we have the words deeper, keeper, which are a perfect rhyme, but we've also got assonance in the following words. We've got she, he, beaming, believing, reasons, leaving, concealing, dealing. Those words don't quite rhyme, but they all have the same vowel sounds, and that really presses the point of how she's kind of on this train and she's fallen in love and she can't really get off it, and it starts to turn a little bit dark. have a little bit of a think about consonants and alliteration and assonance in your own writing, and how you can use that to create interest for the audience and interest for the person listening.